It is Championship Thursday here in the Coast to Coast Racing League as we present to you the Thursday Night Thunder edition of Championship Week. We've got the small blocks and the big block titles on the line here in Knoxville, as well as the Xfinity title at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, the Mosport area in Canada. Who's going to take it? We'll find out in just a bit. We begin things off with our 358 Modifieds presented by Venom Racing. We got a lot of stuff to get right into, so we'll get things down to business immediately. As we're so glad you could join us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Marty Sakala alongside Zach Chapman. So glad you could join us for another edition of Thursday Night Thunder. Well, Zach, let's begin here and talk about the big story coming on in, and it's the championship. You've got Joseph Grandy up 25 points on Dean Reynolds. What is going to take for Dean to try and pull off the upset on Joseph?
It's definitely going to take a good pill draw. I mean, a lot of luck involved in that, but Dean's a smart driver, and he knows that it's not only positions that win the points in this league. It's being clean. No incident points gives you an automatic 5 bonus points. So if Grandy sees himself get into an incident, there's a -7 point swing right there. So Dean just needs to keep his head out and drive hard, drive clean tonight.
Absolutely. Well, we're just a couple moments away here. Let's show you here a reminder of what the points look like coming on in. 575 to 550 for Grandy against Reynolds. They are the two drivers eligible for the championship.
Oh my God, we okay?
I'm good. You didn't hear that. You didn't hear me do that on air. I'm fine. So, but we're ready to go for heat race number 1. Heat 1 brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies, quality racing bodies produced by Dan Chapman in the iRacing hotbed of Clarence, Iowa. Here's how your starting lineup looks. Jason Butterfield and Bob DeGood make up row number 1. And in row number 2 is Superman Kurt Schatzer, as he's next to Cody Graham in the number 2. Row 3, Randall Dixon and Dean Meitzler, and rounding out the field this evening, Anthony Morano in car number 32. Dino also joins us from the booth here this evening. Dean, I got to ask you, what are you expecting for tonight?
Well, with Knoxville, the way it was at the matinee, it was actually really good. The track burned off nice after the heats, and we had a lot of good racing, so I'm hoping we'll have the same thing here.
Winner starts on pole position as we're underway for Heat 1.
See, Dean Meitzler missed his grid.
So 6 drivers make the call to the green flag. Everyone transfers. We have a car count of under 24. 6 laps each heat. Winner of this one obviously starts on pole position. A 30-lap feature for the 358s of the big blocks this evening. Jason Butterfield, though, leads lap number 1. We've got Kurt Schatzer second, Bob DeGood third, Cody Graham fourth. This is a track, as always, when it's the 358s of big blocks, no matter what, Zach. It always starts out to be, the race line always starts to be on the bottom and goes higher and higher and higher every time it slickens off.
Yeah, I think, Dean's up here now, but I think guys like Dean and Grandy, they're both starting 6th in their heats tonight. So they're hoping these guys start running the middle and start pushing it up now. So It's a lot easier for them to pass because, like you were saying, it's a train right now. So if those guys want to get anything done, they need a little help from these guys.
Think of it as like a super dirt week with the way this racetrack is, but at Knoxville over Oswego. It just gives you the same feeling and the same amount of speed, Dean.
Well, and also I noticed there's a lot of cloud cover, so whatever they pick for the weather, I don't know if the track's going to dry out as quick, because in the matinee, it was in the middle of the afternoon, and it was very sunny, too, so it made it dry out a little quicker than what I think we'll see here.
2 laps to go. Half a car length separate Butterfield and Schatzer. Schatzer just picked up the quickest lap of this heat at a 19:56. Butterfield he's got company with Schatzer behind him. Final lap underway for Heat 1. Schatzer looks underneath, but Butterfield shuts the door on him. Does Schatzer make a risky move off of turn 2? Tries to pull up underneath up on the quarter panel. This is going to be tough. Butterfield opens up the door for Schatzer. How low can Superman go is the question. They come to the checkered flag, and at the line, Jason Butterfield takes the win in Heat 1 by just about a tenth of a second on Schatzer. DeGood, Graham, that's your top 4, Dean.
Yeah, now I'm gonna take like I said, like Zach mentioned, I drew last again. That's 4 races in a row, so we'll give it a shot, and then hopefully we'll talk to you guys a little bit.
Alrighty, go have fun out there, Dean. Best of luck,
All
buddy.
right, guys, have fun.
Yeah, go get it, Dean.
We now move to heat race number 2, brought to you by Langdon Mechanical. Langdon Mechanical, the #1 heat and cooling company in the Hamilton, Ontario area, guaranteeing 100% customer satisfaction of heating and cooling devices. Here's your starting lineup for heat race number 2. On the front row is Jeff Sharp in the 28 and David Tormasci in the 313. Row number 2, it's the Bruton Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513 and Alex Pomelo in the 397. Row number 3, John Krupa in the 5 and Dean Reynolds in car number 79. And oh my gosh, that is a sexy 79. What a beast that is. All chromed out, black and chrome. That's sick, and that's sick. I love it.
Yeah, the bot looks a little matte and the numbers are shiny. That looks really good.
Green is out underway for Heat 2. Jeff Sharp gets away with a jump. Pomelo thinks about threading the needle, and up on the wall is Tormasci for just a moment. Gives an opportunity for Dean and Pomelo to look underneath. Pomelo's clear for the 3rd position. Reynolds wants 4th. Lap 1 in the books, though, led by Jeff Sharp at the 28th, Zach.
Yeah, I like the move Dean put on him there. It's time to be a little aggressive. He wants to go win this championship. Hopefully, Pomelo put some pressure on Barker, and Dean can pick up some more here. But it looks like he's walking away with the lead there.
We'll see Joseph Grandy in heat race number 3 determine his starting spot for the feature this evening. Pomelo up on the middle, tries to dust off the chocolate chips you can see from that groove there. We'll be halfway home in heat number 2 this time.
Almost like Barker heard what I said. I said Sharp was walking away with the lead there, and Barker's reeling him in now, it looks like.
The quickest car on track last time by was Dean Reynolds at a 1963. Barker was better than the leader by about 0.05 of a second. However, though, he's got Alex Pomelo right on his tail. 2 to go, Zach. There goes Dean.
Yeah, Dean. I mean, you know, Dean's a nice guy. He doesn't want to use it, but you know, these things have those fenders for a reason.
Oh, Dean caught the berm in turn 3. You also saw John Krupa flip in turn 1. He's pulled it off to the pits. White flag is out. 3 drivers a chance to win heat 2. Sharp, Barker, or Pomelo. It's going to be one of those 3. What happens down the back chute? About to find out. Pomelo takes a peek underneath Barker for the 2 spot. That gives the win to Jeff Sharp off turn number 4 as he wins heat number 2, followed by Barker, Pomelo, and Reynolds. Tormasci 5th and Krupa 6th. As you get a view of downtown Knoxville, looking forward to going to some of those places later this August. So now we move to heat race number 3, and heat 3 brought to you by Venom Racing, official team of the Coast to Coast Racing League. Dan McLaren and Isaac Salas, that is row number 1. Row number 2 is the high side banger, Patrick Spangler, multi-time champion this week, next to one of the members of the Moose Clan, Joe Masso in the 63. Rounding out the grid on row 3, James Bond, Michael Vecchio in the 007, and Joseph Grandy starts in the last spot in heat 3. So Dean and Joseph, Zach, they both draw the 2 worst pill spots in today's random draw.
Yeah, you got to feel for him, but at least it happened to both of them to keep the playing field as level as we could here. But, you know, there's not a bad heat in this league, but I'll tell you what, this one's stacked. This is a tough one to start 6th in.
Green flag is out, heat 3 underway. McLaren gets a good jump through turns 1 and 2. Salas up on the top. Wants to clear Spangler for the 2nd spot. Spangler not having any of it just yet into turn 3. Bad exit from the 39. Does Masso get an opportunity to take 3rd? Pulled up to the quarter panel. And Spangler can slide up. He's got 3rd. And Grandy moves Joe Masso out of the groove. who falls back to 5th. Grandy wants to start in 4th badly, so that way he can keep up with Dean for the for feature time there, Zach.
Yeah, right now if they finish like this, he's starting right behind Dean on the inside row there, so it'd be very interesting.
So you watch the race for the lead. Spangler wants the 2 spot from Isaac Salas. It's just about a quarter of a car length, just about a Hoosier tire that separates 2nd from 3rd. As Spangler ducks underneath, doesn't work off of turn number 4. Everyone still nose to tail. McLaren, Salas, Spangler, and Grandy. Here's Spangler once again down to the basement for P2, Zach.
Yeah, he saw what happened in his mirror probably when Grandy got close to that last guy, so he knows he's got to go. Grandy wants it, so it's time to go.
Yeah, that left front Hoosier up in the air could help him out gather up some grip, because the left fronts are easy to put up in the air as we got 2 to go in heat race number 3. Spangler may want to move up. That's what Dean's hoping, because if he does, he will clear Grandy, and Grandy's up there. If he finishes in the 3rd spot, he'll start ahead of Dean Reynolds for the feature.
Yeah, he's got a big run coming out of 4-2, looking like he might clear him here.
And Grandy takes control of 3rd position with 1 to go. Not what Dino wanted to see in the 79. He's got a lot of work to do, as Grandy will finish in the 3rd spot, which will put him 9th for the feature. Off at turn 4, Dan McLaren wins heat 3, followed by Salas, Grandy, Spangler, Masso, and Vecchio.
Makes it even a little more interesting. We'll have Grandy 9th, Dean 11th.
Absolutely. So it's time for the Ohsweken Speedway warm-up watch. And instead of going to break, we'll watch with you and we can promote what's coming up next week. And that, of course, is our Week 13 charity. We'll be broadcasting Monday night's charity event, which is High Limit. That takes place at the Lernerville Speedway. $23.23 to win, with a lot more if you decide to put yourself further back on a dice roll. And we'll also have the choose roll in effect. How excited are you for this Monday? Especially now that, Zach, we had somebody win off the dice roll on Tuesday night.
Yeah, probably the greatest driver of our generation there, Kyle Larson, proving you can get it done with the dice roll. So it'd be interesting to see a guy like Stephen Goldner or Kyle Moonen get a chance at that dice roll, because I don't think they'd shy away from taking it one bit. I love doing the sprint car events. That's going to be a big one on Monday night. But Marty is being a little modest here. He's going to join us too for our asphalt portions of the charity racing. So it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. $20 gets you into everything. Feel free to donate more, but $20 for a week of racing can't beat it, guys.
I'll be joining you for a bunch of things. Let's see, what do we have here? Sunday we've got the GT3s at Tsukuba and Cars Tour at Legacy Phoenix. I won't be able to make that, but you guys can if you've signed up and paid your $20 to the charity email. Asphalt Monday night as well at 8:45 p.m. We have SK Modifieds and the Whelen Modified Tour at Thompson. Tuesday begins the Dirt Series. We've got midgets and pro late models at To Be Determined, followed by the Asphalt Series at trucks at Michigan. Wednesday night, we've got 305s, 410s, the Street Stock Enduro at To Be Determined. And then we've got the Asphalt Series at Charlotte using the Xfinity Series cars. And then Thursday will be the finale. We've got small and big blocks to be determined, and then we've got the Cup Series at Daytona. We'll be broadcasting every day of the week. Actually, hold that time. We may not be broadcasting every day of the week. But we're doing High Limit, obviously. And of course, we're also doing the finale 2, Dirt and Asphalt. So stay tuned for that. All of you can watch on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Roger, if you're watching, I'm forgetting something, just let me know. Wow, I haven't even loaded up chat yet. I have not even loaded up chat yet. I can't believe I haven't done that yet. Let us know who you're rooting for. We'll give you a shout out before the feature. And good, I haven't missed anything yet. So, Murano's the quickest after warm-ups in a 1965. We're set for the first feature of the night. Here at the Knoxville Raceway, let's meet the field in the Super Dirt Car Series starting lineup. On the pole is Jason Butterfield in car number 93, and Jeff Sharp, he's in the 28. Row number 2 on the inside is Soupy, Dan McLaren in the 88, and Superman Kurt Schatzer in the 218. Row number 3, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513, and Sly Job Isaac Salas in the 5. Row number 4, Bob DeGood in the 7, and Alex Pablo in the 397. Rounding out your top 10 this evening is 100 grand, Joseph Grandy in the 518, and Cody Graham in the 2. Row number 6 is Dino, Dean Reynolds in the 79, and the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. Row number 7 is Randall Dixon, he's in the 011, and David Tormashi in the 313. Row number 8, Joe Masso in the 63, and Anthony Morano in the 32. Row number 9, John Krupa in the 5, and James Bond, Michael Vecchio in the 007. Rounding out the field this evening is Dean Meisler in car number 49. All right, Zach, I want to know who is your pick to win for this evening.
You'll never catch me in the booth with you for one of these races and not pick that Slide Job Salas if he's in this. Nobody knows how to drive this car better than him. He's going to give us a heck of a show tonight.
Going to be in for a treat for this 30-lap show. Again, let's remind you of the points coming on in. 25-point lead for Joseph Grandy over Dean Reynolds. And Grandy starts 2 positions ahead of Dean Reynolds. But we're set to go for the first feature of the evening. It's brought to you by Lucy Olson. We're about to crown a champ in the 358s. Who's it going to be, and who's going to take the checkered flag? About to find out. We're ready to send them off here at the sprint car capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway. Off of turn number 2, Wreck It All. Salas already sideways. And saving Joseph Grandy. Pablo barrel rolls it down the back, and caution waves already.
What a save for Isaac there in the beginning of 1 and 2. Couldn't believe he gathered that up. And I'll tell you, last person who wanted to see that caution, Dean Reynolds. He passed about 4 people in that mix-up.
Not only passed 4 people, even passed Joseph Grandy, and we'll have to reset them to the way they were at the start. Let's show you what happened to the driver of the 397. Hooked wheels with Salas. That's what got the 5 sideways, and then Pomelo up at the wall with help from Cody Graham. Let's give you a ride on board with Pomelo. I think DeGood, Zach, got in the back of Salas, which may have gotten him sideways. I don't think Pomelo made contact with the 5.
Yeah, it looked like a bit of net code there between maybe Bob DeGood and Pomerleau there. It looked like Bob did get into Salas, but not totally on Pomerleau, but that's what sent him up high.
Bear with us here as we're just updating our cameras. We've got to do this during the warm-up. Normally we do this under a commercial break, but you know, we got to give the shout-outs towards the we got to give the shout-outs to week 13 though, that's for sure. Lights are off the Steve King Foundation pace car as we are set to go to the green flag. Again, let us know who you're rooting for in chat. We'll give you a shout out live and on the air. Set to go back to the restart, a single file restart since we did not complete a lap, and it's Jason Butterfield that leads Jeff Sharp, Dan McLaren, Kurt Schatzer, and Jeff Barker here. Try it once again as we come back to green. So Butterfield holds serve. Sharp looks for second on Dan McLaren, or rather McLaren looks for second on Jeff Sharp. Doesn't really work the fastest in the field. Works in turn number 3. Just trying to stay above the rubber you see. Down on the bottom, Butterfield leads the first green flag lap of the day. Phenomenal. See, ooh, Butterfield made a mistake off turn 2, went wide on corner exit, leaves Jeff Sharp underneath to look for the race lead, but he's stuck in the slick stuff, Zach.
Yeah, we're going to see if he can pull it off, because if he can make it work down there on the bottom, that's going to turn us into some two-line racing, but it doesn't look like he's having much luck
baby. 3 wide. Schatzer was just about stuck in the middle. He decides to back out of it. It is getting wild on board the 28. Look how much he's trying to wheel that Bicknell chassis. At the line for third, I think you could give it to Schatzer. It was way too close to call though, Zach.
Yeah, less than 1/10 of a second at the line. Looked like it was had Schatzer in third there.
Here goes Schatzer. Down to the basement. Contact with McLaren. Almost moved around the group, but they kept it straight. And Schatzer moves to P2. That's a brave move by Superman, Zach.
Yeah, putting the arms out, knows, you know, you got to make the moves now. You got to get that leader. If he's close enough, he messes up coming out of 2 again. He needs to be there to capitalize.
Barker, McLaren, you also had Solace that was dancing with the devil earlier up on the top shelf. So they hold on for right now for side-by-side races for the 4th spot. Barker and Sharp, they were in Heat 2 earlier on tonight. And Barker's got company. Let's ride on board with him. Look at the view. He's got a Solace. Ooh, and Grady up the track. Contact with Bob D. Good. And around goes the number 7 and collects Spangler, as well as Anthony Murano. We got one flipping as well behind. I believe that was Joe Masso. The big one breaks out in Knoxville.
Now that's the 7-point swing I was talking about. There are 2 incident points for Grandy, so 7-point swing as long as Dean keeps the car clean.
Here's a look at what happened. Grandy threw the slide job and up and into Good. And Dean just barely misses it. There's Graham. There's the 111. Oh, man, that was Joe Masso. That went for the tumble. I think turn 4 will give us a good angle of the 63. We'll just have to wait and see. There's Graham. There's Spangler. There's that 63, the white car coming in. Watch him. Ooh, he just got T-boned. And on she goes for the ride. Caught the fence. That's the same spot that Chad Cote hit Monday night in the heat races. And, oh, man, he flipped over the 32 of Murano. Well, we rode along with Bob D. Good. Let's give you Randall Dixon here. Zach, you just let me know when we're 1 to green, all right?
Yes, sir.
What a view he had of that flip. Let's try with Alex Pomelo. Remember, he just flipped in the first caution on lap 1. And that may end his night.
Lights are off and we're doubling up.
All right, let's give you one more onboard here then with Joe Masso. Save the best for last of this flip. So we're set to go.
Very interesting.
Yep, so we're... Go ahead.
Top 2 in row 4. Top 2 in points in row 4.
Absolutely, and Dean's on the high side. Let's watch this off of the Young Gun Creations blimp as we come back to green. Butterfield, the control car for that restart. He holds serve. Schatzer and McLaren. Door panel for the 2nd spot. Solace up on the cushion. 3 wide. Grab contact with Grady. And in the wall goes Dean Reynolds. The top 2 of the championship are involved in this one. And so Dean won't have a clean night. Grandy will definitely take that for sure. But the 2 championship drivers have damage. And you see Grandy will bring his ride in for a quick repair. And I would expect Dean to do the same. Zach, that just looked like a situation where the drivers are just all way too close to each other. As he watching turn 1, Graham just gets up into Grandy, leaving Reynolds with nowhere to go.
Yeah, definitely being a little aggressive on the restart. You see he gets a run going into 1, and I think, couldn't tell who that was, maybe Jeff Sharp ahead of him. I think he caught him real quick and tried to float up and just didn't realize maybe they were 3 wide and just gave Grandy no room and sadly got into the point leaders.
Both of them probably have the same reaction I did once on a restart at Lima Land when I was on a live stream. If anyone wants to see that, you can text me. So, third caution of the race involves the championship leaders, and will stay single file. So we'll go green this time, take the 9th lap off the board. Butterfield, the control car for this restart. So you watch from the static shots as we come back to green. McLaren got a good jump as he looks underneath the 218 for second, tucks it back in line. Those are some amazing cameras that we've got courtesy of Track Cams by Gourmet. McLaren though washes up the track. Barker may have a chance. He doesn't, but Barker bounces off the wall. Here comes Salas, but we got a race for the lead. Zach Schatzer underneath Butterfield.
Yeah, he's just got to figure out how to run in high behind him and try to diamond the corner off while you still got this tackler.
Schatzer with, risky slider from Superman. Butterfield counters it back, the leader's touch.
Yeah, good job by Schatzer keeping that out of the fence there on the contact. That could have went real bad for him coming out of 4.
But watch out for McLaren. Soupy wants to dance with the devil. Entering turn 3. He's as high as you can go. Wait till you see the cushion cam after the race. Update on your top 2. Grandy 17th, Reynolds 18th. Another slider from Schatzer. Sends it in a little bit too much. Butterfield counters it back. Oh, there's contact between the top 2 again. McLaren collects Salas. He's loose. What a save. Oh my goodness. How in the world did that happen?
Yeah, what a save, but no caution's really going to hurt him. Lost about 4 or 5 spots there.
Meanwhile, there may be 4 wide off of turn 2. Randall Dixon has crashed, and we're under yellow. See what happened to the driver of the 111. He's in the back of the field. Ooh, moved Pablo up. Pablo is just having a rough day. Oh my! And Reynolds and Grandy were involved in that too. They kept the car straight. Watch from the aerial shot here from our Young Gun Creations blimp. Alex Pablo's incident rating again continues to get washed up. Grandy as well. Same with Dean. Grandy, though, will be scored ahead of Dean Reynolds. And let's ride on board with the driver of the 111. Wow, how that car did not go over, I don't know. So we'll try this once again. This time the cross flags come out. 15 up and 15 down. Butterfield to bring them back. Jason Butterfield as well, looking for his first ever Coast to Coast Racing League win.
Yeah, we've got a lot of track time left yet, Marty. Track's going to change a lot, I think, so lots going to happen these last 15.
Absolutely, as we're back to the green. 93 holds serve. McLaren as high as he can go as he wants P2 over Kurt Schatzer. Can't get it. Patrick Spangler, Cody Graham. That's the first side-by-side race for 6th. Spangler up on the berm downstairs. That could cost for some spots. How about Anthony Morano? He started 16th. He's all the way up to the 8th spot. We got a race for the lead. Here goes Schatzer.
Contact.
He moved Butterfield. They put him in the wall. And Butterfield moves back 3 positions. No caution, we say green. Then Butterfield hits Jeff Sharp. Oh, no. You have got to be kidding me.
You got to feel for him. I know Kurt Schatzer personally, and he is not that kind of driver, so he definitely didn't mean to do that, but that means nothing to Jason right now. He's got to be heated.
Looking for his first ever win. That's the onboard with Kurt Schatzer. Yep, there it was, just a slide job gone wrong. That was like a Peter Britton, Tyler Dipple situation, and here's Jason Butterfield. Just clipped the wheel of Jeff Sharp. It's right on board with the 93. Just slightly touched that quarter panel. On for the what ride she went.
I mean, we expected excitement on championship night, Marty, but I don't know about this much.
Yeah, absolutely. Same here. This is just some wild stuff. So where are your championship contenders as things stand? You've got Joseph Grandy in 14th, Dean Reynolds in the 16th spot. Now, if you're keeping track of the drops, worst finishes on the year for Joseph Grandy are 2 19th place finishes, so this 14th would stand. As for Dean Reynolds, worst finishes are 17th and 10th, so the 16th would stand if we were to end right now. Here we go, back to green. Schatzer holds serve for right now. Barker 4th. Here's Spangler with Cody Graham for the 5th position. You got Verline up on that outside groove.
Dean passing Grandy.
Oh, look at that. Let's focus on that in turn 1. Reynolds moves into the 15th position, but Grandy tries to counter back. Great call on this one here, Zach. As Reynolds follows the 007 of Vecchio, but Dean washes up the track, slides. Here comes Grandy again.
Yeah, no
Oh,
such thing
look
as
out.
brakes
There
for
goes
these two.
Masso. And the caution flies. That helps out Dean. Kurt Schatzer still remains the race leader with 18 complete. Ooh, I think he just got pinched by Tormashi. Let's see. Let's watch right on board with the 63. He had the run going, and then yeah, Tormashi just did not see the moose coming. Ready to come back to the green flag. We'll go 1 to green though this time by. Don't forget big blocks are coming up next, and that's going to be probably the more exciting battle we have of the evening, because you've got Grandy up on Spangler by 14 points, and then you've got Grandy up on Reynolds by 31. So it's a 3-man show for the championship, Zach.
Yeah, that one's definitely going to be a good race, but can't sleep on this. I noticed before the caution came out, looking at lap times, Dan was reeling in Schatzer. Soupy needs a good restart here, and he could give us a race for the lead.
What can McLaren do in the 88? Does he hang out with Schatzer? About to find out.
Great restart for Dan.
Absolutely. Probably the best restart amongst the second-place driver today. And McLaren, again, likes to go, he likes to try and play the game where he goes higher than his opponent unless his opponent is already up next to that wall.
His old teammate, Stickers Vickery, I mean, he was famous for that. Nobody could run that line better than him, so he learned from the best.
And the best restarter, everyone, went to Dean Reynolds. He is 3 positions ahead of Joseph Grandy, and Grandy's dealing with a lot of heavy traffic in the 007 of Vecchio and the 93 of Jason Butterfield. Grandy sent it in with a slide job. The pass through the berm, trying to stay up there with Dean. And they may wreck behind Grandy, which they do. James Bond gets shaken up and he's not stirred about it. You got to go watch that move, Zach, on Joseph Grandy. Oh, my goodness. I thought he was going to wreck.
Yeah, he definitely, the 93 helped him out a little bit. You can see he checked up a little bit because I don't think he was going to clear him. But when he hit that berm, he went for it. Gotta respect the move. He wants to win.
He wants that title bad. He won the Rebels Championship on Monday night. And there you see the contact there. And I'm sure Vecchio won't be pleased about it. Of course, Dean Reynolds earlier today won the Matinee 358 Championship. Dean finally got himself a title in the Coast to Coast Racing League. Happy for him. So
Dean's a great guy. Does a lot for us. Does a lot for the racing community, period. And not many people in this league deserve it more than him.
Absolutely. So Dean Reynolds now 13th with Joseph Grandy in the 14th position. If you're keeping track of stats at home. Your biggest mover still remains Anthony Morano, up 8 spots from 16th. Lights should go off the Steve King Foundation pace card this time by. If you're Dan McLaren, with all these cautions, are you thinking that he's gonna have to make a move now if we don't get a long run to the end?
I think if he gets that restart like we saw him get the last time and is right on him, he almost needs to throw the Grandy in 1 and 2, maybe ride that berm a little bit to cut it down, but just park on him before he's up to full speed, because it looks like it's real tough to pass right now.
Well, let's see what happens. 8 laps to determine who wins this race and the 358 championship on Monday nights. Schatzer, McLaren, Sharp, Barker, Spangler, that's the top 5. Here we go back to green. McLaren again all the way next to the cushion. McLaren got a pretty good exit off of turn 2, but Schatzer still up by just about a car length. Here goes Spangler once again. That's for 4th on the Brewington Beast to Jeff Barker. Take a look here where Reynolds and Grandy are. 11th and 12th, and Grandy's got company from Dean Meitzler. Meitzler's got the preferred line, but Grandy shuts the door right in his face, just barely. And now Reynolds starts to attack a couple other drivers to try and break in the top 10. That's Krupa and Pomelo ahead of him. We go back up to the front with 6 laps to go, Zach, and Schatzer by just about a quarter of a second.
Yeah, it seems like in this 358, Dan just can't get it wound up top. He's really trying to run the top, and it's just not making it up for him.
5 fingers in the air by Barney.
Spangler peeking on the bottom, though. They're going to try to get the bottom to work here.
The real question is, can the high side banger do it on the baby bottom? That's what we're running. We got the, hang on, Dean. He wants that spot badly from Alex Pablo. Reynolds is in 10th. He wants 9th on John Krupa. Slams the door in his face. Man, that was a slider from hell. And Krupa makes contact with Grandy. The 518 hangs on to him for dear life. And same with the 5 of Krupa. 4 to go. Now, is that 2x for Dean Reynolds is the question. 3 laps to go for Kurt Schatzer to try and win this one. Spangler wants to break into the podium, Zach.
Yeah, he's really trying. He just can't get it wound up coming out of the corners, but he's giving it all you got.
Grandy looks for 10th on Alex Pablo. Not what Dean wanted to see there.
There's a difference between 4 incident points between the two. Grandy's got 8, Dean's got 4.
McLaren was probably the highest that he was tonight on the top side in turn 2. Can he find anything for the dirt track bank 218? About to find out. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go for Kurt Schatzer.
Spangler in the wall, Salas in 5th.
So Spangler falls out of the top 5. Here's McLaren underneath. Their race for the win is on in turns 3 and 4. McLaren can't get the bite, and off the corner, Kurt Schatzer wins the 358 race at Knoxville. Dean Reynolds in the line takes 8th from Cody Graham and is 2 spots ahead from Joseph Grandy. We'll wait for scoring to be official, but I believe it's not enough. We'll have to see. By the way, this was Kurt Schatzer's first 358 start of the year. And he took the checkered flag, so congratulations to Superman for getting it done. Again, Patrick Spangler will get right to work on the scoring. And let's give you your official results here before we know who the champion is. What did you say the instant points were again, Zach, into that restart? I think, was it 8 Grandy and 4 Reynolds?
That's exactly right, Marty.
Alrighty, we'll have to see how that looks. Here's your feature results. Kurt Schatzer, the winner. Dan McLaren, 2nd. Jeff Sharp, 3rd. Jeff Barker, 4th. Isaac Salas, 5th. Patrick Spangler, 6th. Anthony Morano, 7th. Dean Reynolds, 8th. Cody Graham, 9th. And Joseph Grandy, 10th. 11th, Alex Pablo. Dean Meitzler, 12th. 13th, John Krupa. 14th, Joe Masso. 15th, David Tormasci. 16th, Bob DeGood. 17th, Michael Vecchio. 18th, Jason Butterfield. And in the 19th spot, Randall Dixon. It's official. Joseph Grandy is your 358 champion in the Coast to Coast Racing League for the spring of 2023. Grandy takes the championship by 17 points on Dean Reynolds. So congratulations to Joseph Grandy. We will talk with him in just a bit. We'll save him for last. And believe the top 3 are in, which they are. So let's begin with our 3rd place finisher in Jeff Sharp. Jeff, a fun race. You kept it near the front. Positives you take away from today?
It was a pretty uneventful race. Just stayed up there, tried to stay out of trouble.
Absolutely. Were you surprised that Spangler could make the low line work in the final laps?
Yeah, I was watching him. I didn't think he could get to me, but you had to try to do something, you know?
Absolutely. What more do you feel that you needed for Kurt Schatzer too?
There was just you had to be up top and there was nowhere to go. It was just follow the leader, kind of. There was no way to make a slide and get ahead of anybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, who do you want to give shout-outs to on this one?
Just you and the broadcast team and Coast to Coast, everybody putting it on. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, man. We'll let you go. Congratulations on a great run.
Thank you, sir.
Jeff Sharp, our 3rd place finisher. 2nd place finisher is Dan McLaren. Dan, what more did you need for Kerr in the final laps of that one?
Maybe a couple less cautions and maybe 1 or 2 more laps, but he drove a great race. I had him a little bit going into 1 and 2, but 3 and 4, I had nothing for him.
What positives do you take away from this one?
A bunch. This is kind of refreshing. I've never finished on the podium in a broadcasted modified race, so this is kind of cool.
Hey, there you go.
Up here.
Good for you, Soupy.
I'd have lost a lot of money on that bet. Would have never guessed that. Dan.
Absolutely, same here. For sure. So, who do you want to give shout-outs to on this run?
All the guys at Venom Racing. Isaac gave me some good pointers, so thanks, Isaac. WeldStar Custom Fabrication, VMR Wraps, Roger for putting on the league, and you guys for putting on the broadcast.
Appreciate it as always, man. Congratulations. Good run.
Thanks, brother.
Dan McLaren, our second place finisher. To victory lane we go, as we'll talk with your winner, Kurt Schatzer, his lone 358 start of the season, and he takes the checkered flag. Kurt, not bad of a win for you. It was a tough race, though, that's for sure.
Yeah, Marty, it was a little bit more contact than I like in one of these races there. I was apologizing to Dan there in the waiting room about the little bit of contact we made there. And then I think there with Butterfield there, we made a little bit of contact. He got to the wall and he scrubbed so much speed going down the front stretch. I really didn't anticipate for him to really be there when we was coming through the corner there. Traded some sliders back and forth, and they got a little bit rough too. But all in all, it was a pretty fun race.
Did you feel like your car was a lot better on a short run, or were you waiting for maybe a long run to develop to see if you could pull away from Dan McLaren?
Tell you the truth, right from the green flag, I felt fast. I mean, it felt like I could go anywhere I wanted. I was trying to beat Isaac to the front. I mean, I knew he was right there behind me, so I was trying to make my way to the lead as fast as I can. I knew he's tough, and I knew he was coming. So, but I don't know where he ended up finishing, but I did my job to get to the front. So
that you did. Who do you want to give shout outs to on this one?
Yeah, I got to thank Jay with Dirt Track Bank. They do a lot for racing all around the country to support all the different tracks and guys. Got to thank Joe Halter with Got Your Six Racing Network. The Hammer Down Racing team there with Brandon Templeton and Brian Dickens. You guys in the broadcast, Marty, you do an awesome job. I love watching it back every week. And I see you got Zach up there in the board. He's been doing a phenomenal job. I like to see him up there. Yeah, everybody watching at home.
All right, man. We'll let you go. Congratulations. Great.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Oh, nothing.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Great job, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Kurt Schatzer, your champion for the 350, or excuse me, your winner. Let's get to your champion of the 358s, and that is Joseph Grandy. Joseph, that was a tough one to battle there with Dean, but you were able to get enough points to take it home. How does this one feel?
Not good, honestly. It didn't feel like I won much of anything after that race. But good. That's two championships this week. Hopefully this next race goes a little better. I can actually race and take another one away.
Absolutely. I got to ask you as well, when you had the yellow come out for you and Dean at the same time, what were your initial reactions? I got to know.
My initial reactions was I can't really say, but
Same as mine.
Little Dean still have to race for it, I guess.
Yes, thank goodness for quick repairs at least. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
And making that comeback from your perspective, with the way the track was settling in, how tough did you think it was going to be?
I ended up getting into it again with someone else. My car was a little damaged. I was hoping to get past a few cars. I was worried about getting DQ'd because
you had the 8X.
8X, 10X, something like that. And, just tried surviving. Honestly, that was about it.
How are you going to celebrate this one? I know we got 2 races left to go, but how are you going to celebrate it?
By hopefully winning another one.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I'd like to thank Catalytic Recovery, West End Towing and Repair. Appreciate you, Marty, for doing the broadcast. Coast to Coast, all their sponsors. Congrats to Dean on second, and we'll see you at the next race.
Yeah, congrats, Joseph, man.
Yeah.
Good job.
Congrats, Joseph. That's an awesome job.
Thanks.
Hey Joe, I also want to congratulate you. I don't think I've ever seen anybody throw a 2-for-1 slider on and clip the berm.
Oh yeah, that was
Every
right.
pass you made to keep up with Dean was, I mean, that was great watching you guys race back there. I know it was under crappy circumstances, but it was a lot of fun watching you guys fight through the pack.
That was probably one of the most desperate moves I ever pulled, for sure.
Yeah. That was go big or go home, pretty much, and he went big. So, but
All right, guys.
congratulations.
Thanks.
That is Joseph Grandy, your champion in the 358s. Congratulations to him on that. As you look over top hat of the Knoxville Raceway, the lights are on. We'll step aside and take a break. When we come back, it's Big Block time. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Race fans, a shower of big block power. Let's ride! Race fans, a shower of big block power. Let's ride!
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
Olsen, she has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olsen, talented sophomore.
Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing Network, getting set to go for Renegades, and the Renegades brought to you by the Super Dirt Car Series. And Dean, the Super Dirt Car Series, the last two races put on some good shows at Weedsport and Lebanon Valley.
Yeah, and who would have thought after Weedsport, hot laps qualifying heats, LCSs have featured nonstop. We didn't bring the yellow flag out once the entire night. And the feature was 100 laps on a 3/8 mile. I mean, everyone knows how tough Weedsport is on the sim. It's like that in real life, too. So what a great job by the guys.
Yeah, Matt Williamson put on a whooping.
Oh, my God. Yes, he lapped up to fourth.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah. And then Lebanon Valley, of course, Matt Shepard taking home the win there to keep him pretty much in the championship battle as of early in the season. But, Zach, as we come in, let's talk about the big block points. Excuse me, Joseph Grandy with a 14-point advantage on Patrick Spangler. And then Dean is 31 points back. We're in for a treat for who's going to win this big block title.
Yeah, can't count any one of them out. We just saw in the small block race, you know, top two in points. They got in an accident, same time, same corner. So all you got to do is just you got to keep your head up, and you got to hope you're not involved in the big one because you get 24 cars out there going this fast. It's going to happen.
Car count has 19 for the feature. Let's begin with Heat 1, brought to you by Flatline Racing Body. Starting lineup looks like this. On the front row is John Krupa in car number 5 and Bob DeGood in the 7. Row number 2 is Slide Job, Isaac Salas in the 5, and Dean Meitzler in the 49. And row number 3, Jason Butterfield in the 93, and the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. So already in Heat 1, Dean, and Spangler does not have a good draw to begin.
No, actually, if you take a look at the redraw gods, I think they're playing a joke on us. Look, all three of us. Spangler's last, I'm second to last, Grandy's last. So I guess we got to earn it.
Y'all are getting your money's worth this evening, that's
yes,
for sure.
Are.
Let us know who you're rooting for in chat. We'll be sure to give you a shout out on the air. Drivers following the Steve King Foundation pace car. Phone to help the dirt track race community across the country by providing financial assistance to drivers, pit crews, race officials, track ops personnel, and families of those who suffer serious illness, injury, or death. Winner starts on pole. 6 laps once again for the heat races. Good start for Krupa. Ooh, DeGood washes up the racetrack early. If you ain't first, you're last. That's where Bob DeGood is at the moment.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah, and look at Salas. Stuck in the middle, looks to lead lap number 1, which he does. Spangler and Krupa door-to-door for second, Dean.
Yeah, but Patrick, I'll tell you what, to come from where he had to start, where he is now, that's, you know, it's going to be tough to get around Isaac, but I think Patrick will be happy with the progress he made here.
Absolutely, as Salas and Spangler just hanging on the baby bottom. Butterfield moves to third. Krupa having a tough time with this big block early, Zach. He's all the way down to 4th after starting on the pole.
Yeah, I think, you know, just a little frustration set in for him there. Him and the 93 made a little contact. I think the 93 still might be a little steamed about that last feature. So I don't think he's out here trying to make friends. He's going to try to win this heat here.
Bob DeGood wants the 4th spot from John Krupa. Everyone makes the feature. Car count was 19 on the entry list tonight. Come to 2 to go this time. In Heat 1, Salas currently leads on Patrick Spangler and Jason Butterfield. Butterfield quickest on track last time by, Dean, the 19:26. Let's see who's quickest this time by. And it's Salas, 19:24.
Yeah, Isaac's getting in a groove. Even as good as Isaac is, you know, when you sit out a couple weeks, it almost takes you a race to really get back in that groove.
There's the white flag, 1 lap to go in Heat 1. The best race on for 2nd spot. This is what would be for 4th position in the feature tonight. Spangler against Butterfield. Who's going to take it home? Butterfield looks higher than Spangler. Spangler holds on to 2nd. Salas wins Heat 1. Spangler, Butterfield, DeGood 4th. Krupa 5th.
Spangler with that P2 really putting the heat on Grandy.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, we're starting in the back of this one, so we'll put on a show for you guys.
All righty, good luck.
Take care, guys.
Go get him, Dean. We're rooting for you.
Brought to you by Langdon Mechanical, and here's how they line up. Cody Graham and Anthony Morano make up row number 1. Row number 2 is Jeff Sharp and Alex Pomelo. Then row 3, Dean Reynolds and Joseph Grandy. They're always starting near each other. It's like a match made in heaven, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said the first race, you got to feel for the points guys having to start in the back. But once again, at least all 3 of them have to overcome the same odds here. So big night here on championship night.
Absolutely. Coming to the green flag with 6 drivers. And out of the gate, a good jump for Graham in the number 2. Morano up to the 2nd spot. First side-by-side race for 3rd between Sharp and Pomelo as they make their way to turn 3. Pomelo washes up the track. It's 3 wide for 4th with Grandy stuck in the middle. Pomelo edges out Grandy and Reynolds for 4th, Dean. Zach, as Dean faced the back.
Yeah, Dean's playing nice. You gotta respect that. I don't know if I'd be playing the same way if one championship night.
I think Dean just wants to play it safe, hope for 5 bonus points at the end. But it's Cody Graham out in front by a 1/4 of a second on Morano, and Morano washes up. He looks on the top of the racetrack for the lead. This is getting good here, Zach. Morano's there. And there he goes, pulls up to the door of the Graham Racing ride. And it's on off at turn number 4. Morano up on the cushion, can't get the lead just yet, but was better by 0.2 of a second at the start-finish line.
Yeah, unless he can clear him with the slider here, I think the high line, it's about to come in.
It could potentially. Graham decides not to use the slider. Now, what does this do for Cody Graham? Look at this across the line. This looks like a pack race here. This is insane, Zach.
Yeah, one little mistake here could wreck 4 guys.
It could get crazy at the white flag if everyone stays all packed together. The 6th place car is Dean, and he's 7/10 back of the leader. I don't know the last time I've seen anyone be that close and last. The white flag is out, final lap underway. Sharp up on the outside of Graham. Looking for P2, Graham stuck up in the middle. It could get dicey into turns number 3 and 4. Grady could try to throw the needle on the 28, and that's tight off the corner. They touch. Grady on the fighter. Sharp edges out Graham, who edges out Grady, who edges out Pomelo. Marano wins heat 2. Woo! We can take a breather now.
Yeah, I've never seen a heat race where they all finished within a second of a leader, I don't think.
Let's move on to heat 3. This is brought to you by Venom Racing. Starting lineup has Dan McLaren, Soupy, and Randall Dixon on the front row. Row number 2 is Joe Masso, one of the Moose Clan members, next to Logan Wentz. And in row 3, Michael Vecchio, James Bond, and the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker.
Yeah, I didn't realize till that interview, Marty, that Soupy's been getting lessons from the great slide job Salas. So you got to wonder if he's going to become a new dominant force in these here.
That's a good question. Possibly could. Well, we're about to see what happens here as we come back to the green. Again, 6 laps, winner starts inside row 2. What a jump from McLaren. Masso already throws the elbow to Randall Dixon. Here comes Logan Wentz as he wants a crack at P3.
Yeah, it looked like Dixon made contact with the outside wall there on the front stretch, so the Moose had to go for it.
Could possibly stack the field up, so the Moose wants the race lead on McLaren, but McLaren leads lap 1 by just about a car length and a half, and Masso runs a higher line than McLaren early here.
Yeah, I think later in the race that's going to pay off, but Dan just showed you there that the middle's still eating coming out of 2.
Absolutely. Races for 3rd spot as you saw Masso slide ways off of turn 4. It's a 4-car dash for P3 between Dixon, Wentz, Vecchio, and Barker. Everyone just keeping their composure, high, wide, and handsome. But Barker tests out the bottom and just doesn't seem to work out for him. He's going for 5th. You know, as I say that, he actually stays side by side with James Bond down the back straight. Two to go, and Barker does take the 5 spot from Vecchio. The Brewer-to-be slides up just so it doesn't make contact with Logan Wentz, and everyone stays single file for right now. Now that Vecchio knows that can work, does he perhaps go down and test out the bottom line?
You can know what to do, but you and I both know knowing how to do it and actually doing it are 2 different things.
McLaren is checked out of this hotel at the moment, a 1-second gap on Joe Masso, Randall Dixon 3rd, Logan Wentz, Jeff Barker, Michael Vecchio. Likely how they finish, or could that be how they finish? We'll see. It's there for a breast off for turn 4. Who's coming to the line? A lot of contact. Wentz edges out Barker by 400ths. And Wentz just went on a ride. All right, it's Osh Weekend Speedway warm-up watch time. We'll step aside and go to break. When we come back, it's feature time for 30 laps. You're on the Coast to Coast race, on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
How about the reverse for Lucy Olsen? She has her first point. Yeah, Lucy Olsen, talented sophomore.
Warm-ups just about wrapped up here for the big block modifieds. Alex Pomelo, quickest in warm-ups. There you see a look up the cushion cam. That'll get bumpy later on tonight, that's for sure. But we're ready for the big block modified feature. Let's meet the field in the Super NerdCar Series starting lineup. On the front row, it's Sly Job, Isaac Salas in the 5, and Anthony Morano in the 32. Row number 2 is Soupy, Dan McLaren in the 88, and the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. Row 3 is Jeff Sharp in the 28, and Joe Masso in the 63. Row 4, Jason Butterfield in car number 93, and Cody Graham in the 2. Round out the top 10, Randall Dixon in the 011, and Bobby Good in the 7. Row number 6, 100 grand, Joseph Grandy in the 518, and the Brood to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Row 7, John Krupa in the 5, and Alex Pomelo in the 397. Row 8, Logan Wentz in the 118, and Dean Reynolds in the 790. Rounding out the field this evening, or I should say Wentz and Meitzler. Rounding out the field this evening, Dean Reynolds in the 79, and Michael Vecchio in the 007. Who's your pick to win here, Zach?
I mean, Isaac P1, you can. You'd have to be crazy to bet against that guy tonight, the way he knows how to drive these things. Maybe Dan can pressure him a little bit, but I'll be surprised if anybody gets a hold of him.
Reminder of where your championship contenders are in points. Joseph Grandy, a 14-point advantage on Patrick Spangler. Dean Reynolds, 31 back. Spangler starts outside of row number 2. Joseph Grandy starts from row 6. That could be big later tonight based off starting position.
Yeah, could be wrong, but if they finish where they started, we'd have a new point leader in Patrick Spangler, I believe.
Absolutely. Well, we're about to see what happens as they make their way through 3 and 4. We're ready for the Lucy Olson start. You know, because it's the final race for the Super NerdCar Series as title sponsor, we're going to say it right. A shower of big block power is about to send a shockwave through the sprint car capital of the world, Knoxville Raceway. Let's ride. Salas has the race lead. Morano and Spangler side by side for second, but then Spangler falls back to the 4th position where he started. McLaren takes a peek underneath for the 3 spot, nearly 3 wide in the center of 3 and 4. Now this could be a squeeze. No, just barely. Morano with second on McLaren and Spangler, but it is getting dicey off of turn 2 here, Zach.
Yeah, but they're doing a good job of give and take. No contact here, and I mean, it's a lot of good racing.
And McLaren clear Morano for P2 off of 4. Not yet. Morano stays at the quarter panel. That's what makes this big block racing so good. Drivers can stay side by side for so many laps when the track is like it this early. On board the 63 of Joe Masso. Salas, though, is enjoying what he's seeing because he's got double file racing behind him. Oh, look out. Hang on there. Joe Masso flipped the tire of Dan McLaren and puts McLaren back to 3rd. You got like 6 drivers under a blanket. Masso and Spangler touch. So Spangler's in the 4th position. Joseph Grandy's in 11th. Dean Reynolds is in 14th. But Grandy is starting to lose some spots here at the moment, Zach. He's down to 6th. And he's not on the preferred line you want to be at.
Yeah, no, Spangler, his heart's sinking in his chest right now. He's really trying to find some room up top to get up there and save this run.
McLaren's got Masso cleared for the 3rd position. And we got trouble. Yellow is out. And we got 2 cars upside down. Logan Wentz and Jeff Barker. That is entering turn 3. So probably the yellow that Spangler wanted to see. Look at what happened to the Bird to Beast. He's got Wentz behind him in a race for 13th. Barker clipped to 397 and around they both went.
Dean with those Spider-Man reflexes, making sure he didn't get any incident points there.
He's been known for those in the past in the big blocks.
You gotta wonder here too. It would be a neat feature if the choose cone was implemented in these, because you gotta wonder if Isaac wants to be on the bottom here.
Yeah. They'll go into place on Monday only during the high limit charity race. Field is doubled up. Should have one to green this time. Patrick Spangler is in the 6th position, and Joseph Grandy currently scored 10th. So not really what Spangler wants to deal with, but Spangler's on the high side for this restart. The same is for Joseph Grandy too here, Zach.
Yeah, you gotta love these situations though if you're Isaac and Dan. I mean, when I'm racing with my gambler buddies and you find yourself 1st and 3rd, you know, you can count it down in the Discord, and that should make this battle for 2nd pretty interesting here, and I think that's what Isaac wants. Then he can walk away again.
Salas, Morano, McLaren, Masso, Spangler, that's the top 5. We watch the restart from our drone camera, brought to you by Young Gun Creations. It's another Mission 22 restart, and what a jump Salas had. A horrible restart from Anthony Morano. McLaren underneath for 2nd, some slight contact. 3 wide for the 4th position with Spangler stuck in the middle. And Spangler finds his way up top. McLaren stuck in what could be considered no man's land at the moment, as everyone wants that middle and high groove as high as they can. Morano edges out McLaren for P2, Zach.
Yeah, I think Dan's got to try to slot back up, and yeah, he found the room here because he can't get it done on the bottom just yet.
Spangler with a risky move. Could be 3 wide for the 3rd position. Can the high side banger find grip down on the baby bottom? Spangler moves up back to 4th position. Joseph Grandy is in 8th. And you've got a race for the lead too. Morano all over Salas for this top spot too. A very surprising start for Morano, and you gotta give him credit for the way he's can't come back in after that restart. Spangler though still stuck on the basement line. Right on board with them. Masso takes away 4th. Spangler Haynes back up with the groove that's high, wide, and handsome.
Yeah, he got back up there, but Moose went a little high, so he kind of got forced back down to the bottom again here.
I don't know if I throw a slide job here if I'm Spangler decides not to. May consider it late in the going. If he can just find a slot between Masso and Butterfield, he'll be good. But now Butterfield challenges for a spot in the top 5. And watch out, because Joseph Grandy is closing in quickly in that 8th spot. As of right now, Grandy would have the championship one. If Spangler was up in the 4th or the 3rd position, I couldn't tell you who would have the championship lead. But Salas continues to lead up on the outside, nearly clips the wall, gap 4/10 of a second over Anthony Morano. Biggest mover currently is another championship contender. That in Dean Reynolds starts from 17th. He's cracked the top 10, Zach.
Yeah, just trying to check out all these points information. Right now, they've all got 0 incidents, and like you said, Dino's the hard charger, so that's an extra 5 for him.
Masso back on the top, and he saw Spangler moved up into the 4th position, drove through on it. Here we go, Morano now underneath. He tests out the slider line to see it works. It's just not working just yet. 14 laps complete, Zach.
Yeah, I think maybe it'll come back in around, 7, 8 to go, like Isaac and Patrick showed us in the small block race. But it's going to depend how, if all those guys keep eating the top, it'll go away faster.
Last time by, Morano was better by about 400. Look at McLaren, he's up on the wall in turn 3 and 4, trying to hug the cushion. Grandy up there in the 8th position as well.
Yeah, last race of the season, they got all summer to fix these cars up in the shop, so go for it now, Dan.
Absolutely, and Grandy all over Cody Graham for P7. He may be holding Grandy up Grandy decides, okay, I'll take you downstairs. They nearly touch. Spangler, meanwhile, he tests the slider line. Thought for a moment he was going for third spot. It's just about 3 wide with Grandy on the bottom, Butterfield in the middle, Masso up top shelf. Oh, look out. Masso got the elbow thrown at by Butterfield. That allows Grandy to take a spot away. Grandy moves into 7th. Not what Spangler wants. He knows it. He wants 3rd from Dan McLaren now. But Grandy may go for Cody Graham here, Zach, in the race for 6th position.
Yeah, and this is not what Spangler wants. Spangler needs those top 3 to start fighting, and he needs to run those guys down because Grandy is moving through the field.
And you could have a fight on your hands for 2nd between McLaren and Morano. And McLaren very good up on that cushion and nearly made some contact on board with Soupy.
The time he's making in on entry in turn 4 is unbelievable.
Ooh.
He's running it higher than even Isaac. He's making up some time.
A slight front bumper, just tell him, hey, buddy, I'm there. Meanwhile, last time by, McLaren was the quicker driver on the track. 2nd quickest was Patrick Spangler. 10 laps remaining.
You said it, 2nd quickest Patrick Spangler, and he's doing it on the bottom, Marty.
Quickest driver the last time by was Joseph Grandy, only driver in the 19-second range. In 1997, everybody else 20:02 or above. 9 to go for Isaac Salas here in Knoxville. The best battle happening behind him for 2nd between McLaren and Morano. Oh, that's tight there. I thought McLaren was going to squeeze Morano into the wall.
He scrubbed up enough speed, though, on him. He's going to get him right here, Marty.
Slide job, McLaren, he's got it. Morano tries to counter it back, but he couldn't because Spangler was in the way, or does he? With 8 laps to go, Morano sends it in, and here comes Spangler. 3 wide for the 2nd position. Who gets away from this first? It's the 88. And Spangler tries to fight it back, and we've got a race for the lead now, folks. Salas and McLaren. Slide job, you've got company.
Apprentice against the teacher here. He may have showed him too much, Marty.
This could get good between the Venom teammates. Meanwhile, Spangler could not take the 3rd position from Matthew Morano, and McLaren caught the wall. So he lost some time there. With 6 laps to go, Morano wants the 2nd spot back. Meanwhile, Dean Reynolds challenges Alex Pablo and Joe Masso for the 8th position, if you're wondering what's happening in that one. And McLaren up on the wall once again. Not a yaw there in turn 3, Zach.
No, you got to love it. I mean, he's got nothing to race for other than the checkered flag tonight. He's not in a points battle, and Dan's hanging it all out there.
Meanwhile, Joseph Grandy is in 6th spot. Spangler hoping for a miracle. He's won a couple of championships earlier this week. The Renegades champion. He's a pro late model champion. I can't remember how he did last night. Did he win any championships last night or no?
I don't believe so.
So we'll love to add a 3rd one to his mantelpiece on the year. It is still tight for this for the race for 2nd with 3 to go. Isaac Salas, meanwhile, is running away from the cops, just about a 2nd lead over 2nd on back. And McLaren's up on the wall once again. They've hit that motocross bump. 2 laps remain. Here at the Sprint Car Capital of the world, Spangler wants to break into 3rd. That would be a spot that he wants. But Spangler wants, I think at this moment, he wants 2nd really, really badly. I think Zach, Spangler may have to slide job to get the 2nd spot. We've got 1 lap to go in the big block season. Grandy's moved up to 5th, by the way.
Yeah, Spangler's a nice guy, but championship's on the line here. I think if he gets 2nd, that might get it done.
He's got to send it in deep in turn 3 and 4. Does he go for the slide job? It's still 3 wide for 2nd off at turn 4. Isaac Salas takes the win at Knoxville Raceway. McLaren edges Spangler for 2nd. Grandy takes 5th. And I believe that could do it for Joseph Grandy for the modified titles. We will wait for scoring. But I don't know. It's going to be close here. Zach. Very close.
Yeah, that was a heck of a race they put on.
And a great long run to end it. Great job by the drivers to keep it clean. Top three pose for a photo. And again, we will wait for the scoring to update in just a matter of moments. So while we're at it, there's Dean to give the good race, guys. Isaac Salas, the winner. Dan McLaren, second. I just realized we're on, I had it as race 10. We're not on race 10. We're at race 11 at Knoxville. McLaren, second. Patrick Spangler, third. Anthony Morano, fourth. Joseph Grandy, fifth. Sixth belonged to Jason Butterfield. Seventh, Cody Graham. Eighth, Alex Pomelo. Ninth, Dean Reynolds. 10th, Joe Masso. 11th, Jeff Sharp. 12th, Randall Dixon. 13th, Bob D. Good. 14th, Michael Vecchio. 15th, Jeff Barker. 16th, John Krupa. 17th, Logan Wentz. And that is how they finished tonight. Let's see if the big block points are updated. And Joseph Grandy is the champion of the big blocks. He sweeps the modified classes on Thursday nights. This time he won it by 9 over Patrick Spangler. Oh, man, that was a wild one at the end. 9 points separate Grandy and Spangler. We'll begin by talking with the heartbreak of this one, Patrick Spangler. Stand by on that. Just got to make sure everything's in store here for it. And we are good. The first guy as well to know that it was a 9-point loss in Patrick Spangler. Patrick, oh so close, man. What more did you need to try and get this championship?
I needed to have more consistency, I think, during the season. I ran a good race tonight, had the 0X, but just I wasn't expecting to be top 5 even at the end of the season because late models and modifieds aren't my forte, but I was just able to keep it clean and consistent and rattle off some top 5s there.
A very impressive race, though, at the end. Were you thinking on the final lap possibly going for the slide job in turn 3 because of championships on the line?
To be truthful, the slide job I pulled on, I think it was Mossauer Graham earlier in the season. I think that was my first slide job I ever did in a league race on here. I can't pass in a late model or modified. I'm just not comfortable throwing slide jobs, so I'll just wait till they're out of my way on the top line and go past them to the bottom line. I was going to just keep hitting the bottom, and I just overdrove in turn 3 and 4 and didn't get the drive off, and Dan had it. Good race, though.
Well, great job for you all season long, man. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Just, you for the awesome broadcast each week, Zach for helping me out today, Roger for the great league he runs, Trimos Racing, got Uncle back home watching, and I can't wait to do it next year with all new dirt physics. It'll be fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's right. The dirt physics will have brand new racing. So awesome job tonight, though, man. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Patrick Spangler, your third place finisher. Second place runner is Dan McLaren. Dan, oh boy, 2 races in 2 seconds. I know you'll take that.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever gone back-to-back podiums in a broadcast race, so this is a huge milestone for me. That's for sure.
I got to ask for the heck of it. Do you think Isaac may have given you a little bit too much information because you were racing him for the lead?
I appreciate everything that he has told me. I'll say that. But it's not, it's what's joining a new team, and you learn new things from different guys. So I appreciate it all.
For sure, absolutely. As a whole, how much fun did you have with the modifieds tonight?
Oh my God, it's since I've joined the league, tonight has probably been my best finish in a modified ever. Especially the big blocks. Big blocks, I'm usually like mid-pack to the back. So, a couple tips can make or break it.
Absolutely. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Isaac. All the guys at Venom. They're a great group of guys. VMR Raps, Wildstar, Coast to Coast, and you guys for this awesome broadcast. Can't wait to go back and watch it.
Absolutely. Alrighty, man. We'll let you go. Great job, and hopefully we see you in the Xfinity Trail tonight.
Oh,
Hey,
absolutely.
Make sure you send me your PayPal, Dan. I want those tips.
Okay. Sounds good, Zach.
All right.
Cheers, guys.
Yep, you as well. Dan McLaren, our second place finisher. Let's go to Victory Lane and talk with your winner, Isaac Salas in Extreme E-Speed TV Victory Lane. Isaac, whew, I'm sure you got to be tired after that 30 laps. That was fun.
Yeah, that made me nervous, man. That was that was a lot of fun.
Absolutely as well. McLaren got on you, and they're late in the stages. I thought he was going to challenge you for the lead. Just when you see that happen, just what are you thinking?
Well, I was more nervous by the fact that I could hear him start chuckling behind me in the Discord chat. I was like, oh no. I was like, oh, please no.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Big blocks at Knoxville. I mean, big blocks as a whole, but big blocks at Knoxville just suit you pretty well. When there's a race going on anywhere, you're just pulling away, just barely.
Yeah, I thought it was a blast, to be honest with you, man. I was kind of nervous actually because I haven't raced in. Oh man, I don't even know. It's been probably since our charity event since I've actually gotten to sit down and race. Just been how busy I've been. So I was excited to be back. I kind of took it with a just like a good, just like happy to be back kind of attitude, and just try to follow the track around. And trust me, I think I followed like 4 different lines through that big block feature.
Yeah. Well, absolutely, man. Who do you want to give shout-outs to on this run?
Well, yeah, big shout out to all those guys over at Venom Racing. I think it's I want to say that Dan, this is his first double podium in a broadcasted night at least, so that's pretty awesome for him. Dean Super Dirt Car Series, it's been a fun season with them. Magnum Race Designs, Got Your Six Racing Network, RSN Trackside with you, buddy. Beautiful interview, by the way. Watched it in between the races. Dirt Track Bank, everybody here in Coast to Coast. Love everybody here. I'm very excited to see everybody in Knoxville. Mission 22, everything that they do for our veterans. We just had Memorial Day, so thank you to absolutely everything that they do. My Gramps, Top Notch Trucking, I know he's watching, so this one's for you, Gramps. My buddy Devin for watching, I know he's watching too. Thank you guys for the broadcast. I know Zach stepped up and did color for you, so thanks to that as well. And then, yeah, man, just like thanks to our veterans, thanks to my friends, my family, everybody that watches and supports me.
Appreciate the time, man. Congratulations. Great win.
Awesome. Thanks, sir.
Isaac Salas, your winner. Back to the champion, Joseph Grandy. And this time, Joseph, it was a nail-biter to get it done. Now that you got that weight off your shoulders, how does this feel?
It feels pretty good. You know, first time winning championships in Coast to Coast. I take 3 in the season, so can't really complain about that.
Absolutely, man. That's for sure. Walk us through this race as a whole. You know, I mean, you had to start from 11th, make your way up to the top 5. And Spangler, I thought he had a great chance to take the title out of your hands tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what the points difference was between us, but I knew I had to stay close to him and try to get that almost impossible 0x for me, which I think I finally got. I don't know if I had a 0x before, but I knew it was very important to win the championship there. Not sure how many points I won by, but even though we're not teammates anymore, there's no place I'd rather be standing on the podium with than Patrick.
9-point difference. I was looking at something on my phone. 9-point difference between you and Spangler at the end. So, I think this is a pretty cool moment too. At the same time, because because we're ending, obviously the Super Dirt Car Series is giving Catalytic Recovery the torch, which is a big partner of you.
Yep.
How about that?
Oh, good. Well, hopefully I don't do the opposite next season and make us look bad.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, man. I know we gave the shouts earlier, but let's do them again.
I'd like to thank Catalytic Recovery, West End Towing and Repair. Appreciate you, Marty, as always, is doing the broadcast, coast to coast, all their sponsors, all the guys behind the scenes, and my beautiful girlfriend, Olivia.
Alrighty, man. We'll let you go. Congratulations. Great job on the mods.
Thanks.
Joseph Grandi, you're champion in the big blocks. So we will step aside and go to break. And when we come back, it's Xfinity Series time. We'll crown a champion. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Race fans, a shower of big block power. Let's ride! Race fans, a shower of big block power. Let's ride!
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
Her first point. Yeah, Lucy Olson, talented sophomore.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We are getting set to go for the Xfinity Series as we are here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park here in Bowmansville, Ontario. They call it Mosport. His official name, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Marty Scala with you as we are just moments away from getting going here. As let's talk about the points coming on in. Unfortunately, we don't have a label to really tell you how they look coming on in. But we can tell you this, though, that's for sure. On the Xfinity side of things, Bob Light has a 76-point advantage on Colin Johnston when it comes to who could win the Xfinity title by the end of the night tonight. On the trail as a whole, Bob Light 2 wins, 355 to 342. Last week we were at Charlotte. Louis Meglin took home the victory. So qualifying is getting set to go. Now qualifying is set to 10 minutes today. It's because of how long this track is here at Bowmanville, Ontario. See the drivers come off the track at the bottom of your screen. Don't expect a lot of drivers, I would say, to qualify. They'll just start from iRating. So first driver we'll take a look at is the driver of the number 13, and that, of course, is Colin Johnson. We'll bring up the track map on your screen as well, give you an idea of what this place is like. And actually, bear with us, we actually have to update our graphics here. There you go. It popped up on your screen now. This is the fastest part here. This is down the Andretti Straight here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to ride on board with them. So a lot of drivers have put practice in for this championship race on week 12. Let's ride on board with him. So it was a right-hander into turn 1, and it's downhill left, and that's the tough part about it. So lap time will not count for the driver of the number 13. Let's take a look at another driver that's taken some time. Let's go to Bob Light. He just got out of the sweeping right, left, right. The tightest part of the racetrack comes right here. So expect Bob Light to put in the first time. You see, normally when we're racing on the ovals, we also have 2 sectors. This time you've got 3 sectors here. So a good idea of how the times will look. Dan McLaren, quickest of all drivers in Sector 2. Of course, you see where the sectors break down. It's red to red dot to red dot. Bob Light goes with a 122.42. His time on lap number 1. Dan McLaren moves up to second quick. We'll watch Soupy here on lap 2. 2 seconds for him so far this evening. You know he wants a W in his back pocket. Andrew Smith just moved the 79 up to third quickest. Couple of drivers underway with lap number 2. Got Zach Chapman underway on lap 2. See if we can get Dan McLaren's time to pop up here shortly. Light's the quickest of anyone in Sector 2. Remember, he was slower in Sector 1, so McLaren, this looks like a much better lap for him. Chapman slower in Sector 2. He may have gone off the track. I can't tell you that completely. In fact, he actually has 0 off tracks. So. McLaren at the line. Better lap, 123.46. Or rather, 122.63, so he's just 0.6 off the pace. Preston Cranmer with a much better lap. He puts the 07 third quickest, 123.93. Andrew Smith, much better, sectors 1 and 2. Out of the final corner, a better lap for Andrew Smith, 123.63 to go to third. Isaac Salas already has had 3 off tracks, so we'll see if this lap will stand or not. With it being the green all around, I would assume it does stand. 127.82 is time on lap number 1. Really shown himself to become a very good road racer, just cares about being clean instead of taking any risks. Better lap, 125.31 to go to 6th. So we'll see if anyone else decides to take some time here. Jeff Kemper and Brandon Ishkanian on my end had 1.04 laps, and then they decided to put it into the pits. So a look at, though, as things stand, you see on the left of your screen, 7 drivers have qualified. Bob Light quickest, 122.07. Now, the driver with the highest I rating that is currently yet to qualify is Mark Gilbert's 13.14. And we've got Jeff Kemper actually on the racetrack in the 181. Now, I believe he's already taken time, so this is technically lap number 2 for him. And so because of that, he will just do additional practice in the final 3 minutes. Kemper's known for doing that as well in the past. Of course, that final corner of Canadian Tire has always been known for dramatic moments. First year in 2013, Chase Elliott takes out Ty Dillon. 2014, photo finish. Ryan Blaney edges out Herman Quiroga. This corner right here. 2016, Cole Custer and John Hunter Nemechek are wrecking and spinning, coming to the line. Who is it gonna be? Of course, 2018 was the year that Noah Gragson took out himself and his teammate Todd Gillen for the win, giving Justin Haley the W. And we have not been here since 2019. That, of course, was the Brett Moffitt domination at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Just about a minute here before we go green for the feature. We should be in for a 30-lap showdown. Drivers expected to pit probably around lap 15 or so, 14 or 15. Instant count limit is 15x, and drivers do have a quick repair with it being a road race here. Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. We'll give you a shout out on the air. Hello to Michael Grandy, who is happy to see Joseph win a small block and a big block title. And a couple moments away from giving you the starting lineup, and no one else will take to the racetrack. I just wish that we had something where if nobody else is going to the track, you could just skip everything and go to the race. Because we actually also have a button for that says ready to race, to get things moving along with the process. Well, we thank you so much for spending your Thursday night with us. It's the final night of the regular season for the spring. Let's meet the field in the Super Dirt Car Series starting lineup. On the pole position, you've got Bob Light in car number 77, and next to him, Soupy Dan McLaren in the 88. Row number 2, Andrew Smith in the 79, and the A-Lit Outlaw, Preston Cranmer, in the 07. Row 3 is Scooby-Doo, Zach Chapman. He's in car number 72. And Slide Job, Isaac Salas in the 5. Row number 4 is Louis Meglin in the 50 and Mark Gilbert in the 017. Rounding out the top 10 this evening, Terry Landis in the 161 and Jacob Butcher in the 85. Row 6, Colin Johnson, he's in the 13, and Jeff Kemper in the 181. The rest of the grid looks like this. Row number 7, Peter Thompson and Jeremy Tate. Row 8, Brandon Ishkini and Tim Chapman. Jason Hand rounds out the field. Actually, correction, Jason Hand not with us. No call to the grid. He's in race control. One full lap before we take the green flag. Again, no cautions in this one tonight because it is a road race. Nice view from the Young Gun Creations blimp. Down the Andretti straight as we get set to go green. $16 cages of cold metal with hot rubber at the corners, ready to do battle for 30 laps. Who's it going to be? How's it going to be done? There's always a favorite out there, and pick it ASAP. Field makes the way through turns 8, 9, and 10. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? The final race in Canada, the home of the Coast to Coast Racing League, and from coast to coast, Bob Light, Dan McLaren, bring us to the green flag. It's showtime here in Canada. Watch out for a lot of off tracks into this one. We'll be keeping track of who has the most incident points. Remember, 15 incident points, and you are DQ'd from the race. As light brings them down, McLaren is second. Andrew Smith runs third. Zach Chapman fourth. Preston Cranmer runs out the top five. Closest battle is the race for second between McLaren and Smith. As they make their way through the Quebec corner, they went their way out of Clayton corner earlier, and now they come down into the Moss corner, the tightest part, turns 5A and 5B. Preston Cranmer, Isaac Salas, the race happening for fifth spot on the racetrack, as they're the tightest drivers out there. Down the Andretti straight, Cranmer gets away with the advantage. Draft always key here. Down the straight, which also includes turns 6, 7, and 8. 5C, 6, 7, and 8, if you want to be specific. A lot of pitting strategies here in question tonight. Out of turn 10, lap 1 goes up on the board, led by the 77 of Bob Light. Pull up the track map, show you where your favorite drivers are on the screen. There's a name out there, pick it. One off track here so far, and that comes from Isaac Salas. He's back down in the 6th position. Eddie Rex will keep you posted on them. Here's Zach Chapman, faces a pressure from Preston Cranmer in the race for the 4th spot. So you're on board with the Ayla Outlaw. Don't want to take a risk here. It's too dangerous in this left-hander. Not really the best passing zone there. See, Chapman locks up and one goes off, and that was the 79 rather, of Andrew Smith. Or is that the 50 of Louis Meglin? I believe that may have been Meglin. And it was. Nope, that was the 13 of Colin Johnston. Nope, it was the 79 of Andrew Smith that went off. Wasn't credited as an off track as he falls all the way back to the 6th position. He wants to regain that spot. He has to try and get through Isaac Salas to do it. Ooh, Preston Cranmer. I think Lawson off of turn 10. And he falls all the way back to the 8th spot. Bob Light, quickest car on track, no surprise, and Isaac Salas is off. He's in the grass. That is off turn number 1. And the driver of the 5 falls all the way back to the 15th position. Let's go back to Louis Meglin as he tries to get away, tries to close in on Colin Johnston, pull away from Preston Cranmer. Let's ride along with the 07 of Preston Cranmer as he is underneath. Takes away the 6th spot from Meglin. In fact, let's actually ride on board with the driver of the number 50. Pull up the dash cam here, show you how fast and what gears he's in. Xfinity Series has never been to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. If there's a car though similar to the Xfinity Series though, I feel like it would be the NASCAR Penny Series, the Canada Series. Got a second, but Louis Meglin off track once again. Another driver who joined him. Going off track. 3 drivers joined him. Jeff Kemper. And that is an ugly scene right there. Terry Landis also wrecked. We've got a couple of things that we can look back on here. And we will do that. So let's go to the start. And let's look at first off Terry Landis in the 161. This was at the start of this race. think that was just a catch. This was still when we were pacing. My mistake. This is Preston Cranmer. This is before we had the wild off-track moment with Kemper and company. We lost it. I think this was it here. With Meglin and Kemper, another driver went off track. Just at the exact same points, like the curve came out. Who's that right there? That's Smith in the 79. This challenge is really this track is really challenging everyone here today. Let's take a look for the aerial shot. You see Bob Light out in front of the 77 by 3 seconds on Dan McLaren early. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe back at Circuit of the Americas, these were the two drivers that battled it out for the win. If not, I think I'm thinking of somebody else. Best race for 6, Mark Gilbert, and Gilbert loses it. He hits the tires just barely. That's his first off track of the day. He's almost lost it once again because remember, that grass has 0 grip. It's like you're on ice when you hit that grass. You can't control it one bit. Most off tracks currently belong to the 5 of Solace. So he's got 3 off tracks. How about the most instant points here so far? Remember, the limit is 15, and we actually can't give them to you. That's correct. So only go based off of instant points here. So Cranmer and Smith, after the moments that they have had, they have dropped down to 10th and 11th. Not what they really want. Way too shallow of an exit for Andrew Smith. That puts him back down the 11th position. And Gilbert goes off track once again. It's a standing off track. Solace, oh! He's buried that thing somewhere. That's in the middle of nowhere. In fact, that's actually in Clayton Corner in 2A. This is a nightmare to a lot of people. Counting 5 drivers right now with 0x on the off tracks. Could that mean 0x possibly? I can't tell you the truth there on that side of things, but the ones with 0x are currently your top 4. Bob Light, Dan McLaren, Zach Chapman, Colin Johnston. You also have Terry Landis, the 7th place driver. How about Terry? He's just taking it nice and smooth. It's like a Sunday drive for him. It's like a Sunday drive to get the senior discount at Denny's or something. If you want to go there, I'm kidding. But just taking it nice and easy, and it's running in P7. Started from the 9th spot. Brandon Ishkanian, your biggest mover of the race so far. He started from 15th. He moves up to 5th. Solace and Kemper have crashed. And Solace's night has come to an end, and there's the heavy damage on the front for Kemper now again. Remember, 1 quick repair each driver has, so. Here's a look first at what happened with Solace. Ooh, just clipped the rear end of the grass, and bam! Heavy impact, and then I think Kemper was trying to dodge it. It's a 2-car accident. Here's what Kemper saw. You got sauce. Oh no, he put too much throttle on it. Too much right foot is what did it. That's the straw that broke the camel's back. continue on here with this race. Kemper's in the pits. Salas has pulled it off the track. He's done for the day. I'll also tell you Tim Chapman is done for the day, and I think he just entered the pits and pulled it off. So, Zach Chapman at a snail's pace as he was off track for a couple seconds. It's the breaking point. So that's why he's so slow coming out of Moss Corner. So he loses 4th to Colin Johnston, who started 11th in 11th spot. So nice run for the driver of the number 13. Fastest lap of this race so far, the only 122 lap of the day. That belongs to Bob Light, 122.52. We have seen a 123 lap by Dan McLaren, a 123 flat. There's just about a 1 to 3 seconds of tire wear drivers are dealing with. Best race is for 11th, Mark Gilbert, Jeremy Tate. Just came across the start finish line as he right on board with the 017. Off track he goes. Bam! Into the barriers. That's a heavy leg. Can he get that out of there? Because sometimes when you hit those tire barriers, if you hit them hard enough, it can be tough to get out. And we got Jacob Butcher. And we're hearing has crashed as well in the 85. Let's take a look. Watch that one more time for another angle. So he's in turn 1. Too much gas as he tries to save it. Rear end comes out. So Butcher has the car still going, but look at the front end damage to that. Slide Job Racing Network Epsilon Sprint Wrap number 85. Now, pit stop should be around the corner for your leaders. We only have 3 drivers off track, and Preston now is off track again. No grip, 1 bet. It's Bob Light, Dan McLaren, and Colin Johnston. Mark Gilbert, the most off tracks at 8. Keep in mind, 15X, you are disqualified from the event. Butcher's brought the number 85 down the Castrol pit entry. So Butcher brings it in to change tires and I would assume get a quick repair as well. For 5th place, Brandon Ishkanian against Peter Thompson. This is a fun one. Last time by, Thompson was a second better. Now I hope I don't jinx Peter Thompson, because every time I go on board with a driver, they normally go off track. Like, barely going full throttle is Peter Thompson. Only time he's really going full throttle is when he's going up. And Ishkanian off the racetrack as he dirt tracks it. It's like a rally car going through there. Man, I can't believe he was able to find a way to get that baby back on pavement. That puts him down to 7th, and he currently does not have the hard charger status. That belongs to Colin Johnston, up 8 spots into 3rd. The best races on track is for 8th, Jeremy Tate. Preston Kramer's lost some more spots. Dropped to 10th. This track is eating drivers up. 11 drivers remain on the lead lap. Tate and Landis is the closest battle we have on the track for 9th. Peter Thompson has crashed it. It's back on track. I think it was just about off track for a second, so I would assume he spun the right out. Was running in 5th position at the time. Just couldn't get the car to turn, but luckily that is a skid pad to help him out, get on the brakes. If that's grass, he's going in the tires without question. So 18 laps go at the line here in Canada. And Bob Light continues to put on a whoop in 4.3 seconds. The advantage on Dan McLaren. If Light makes a mistake, McLaren will pounce without question. Colin Johnson has kept it conservative. He's 33 seconds behind the race leader. Light came in tonight as the favorite to win the championship in the Xfinity season, not part of the trail. The trail is throughout the entire year. The Xfinity season, I'm talking about the 12 weeks that we've had on the year. Zach Chapman brings the 72 into pit road. You can see he's got some right rear quarter panel damage. He's had 4 off tracks tonight. We'll watch him bring it into the pits. Long way down pit road because all the pit boxes aren't until you get near the front. 4 tires and fuel, and I would assume get that quarter panel repaired. And back on the racetrack, Scooby-Doo goes. See, look at this quarter panel here closely. See if he did use the quick repair, which he did. So he pits on lap number 12, and now he's just waiting for the leaders to make their way in. So Light leads, McLaren is second, Colin Johnston third, 4th Andrew Smith, 5th Brandon Ishkanian, 6th is Peter Thompson. We just got reports that he crashed once again, get a replay shortly. Jeremy Tate is 7th, Terry Landis 8th, Preston Cranmer 9th, and Zach Chapman rounds out the top 10. Let's give you what happened with Peter Thompson. I think that uphill may have bit him. May have been downshifting too many revs. Let's take a look. See if that it was the situation with Peter. The downshift and put some thought. That's a turn where I feel like you should probably coast. But obviously don't quote me on that. So everyone trying to make it to at least lap 15. And then bring the car down pit road because that is the only stop of the race the drivers will make. Jeremy Tate, Terry Landis, a lot of Epsilon Sprint drivers. I think that's 3 of them. that bring the cars down pit road. I believe that was Landis that overshot his pit box. Bob Lights also brought the 77 in. So he gives up the lead for Dan McLaren. So Light joins back out second. Here comes Colin Johnston into pit number 13. You'll see him shortly. Four tires and fuel. One of the 3 drivers without an off track tonight. So he's feeling pretty good. So Johnston's back on the track. Here comes the leader in. Bob Light coming through turn 10. And Light takes the race lead away. Better pit stop for McLaren. And better on pit road as a whole. Closed in just a bit, but as he comes up to speed, he's 3.3 seconds behind the leader. Ishkanian and Thompson are in. They're pretty much the final 2 of the final 3 drivers that have yet to make a pit stop. Thompson's back on the racetracks. Actually, 2 guys have yet to pit. One is Brandon Ishkanian, the 6th place driver, and one is Andrew Smith. Terry Landis has crashed it. There he is, and that is at the start-finish line. That's off turn 10. Show you what happened to the driver of the 161. Preston Kramer behind him. That's the race for 9th. Rear end came up from underneath him. Ooh, that's a heavy hit. Lucky, be lucky. That's not a lot of aero damage, but definitely did crunch up that right front fender, though. That's for sure. Andrew Smith comes in with 13 to go, hoping for fresher tires to see if he can close in. Four tires and fuel. Team on the right sides now. Back on the racetrack. We got a race for the lead. Bob Light, did something happen to him? I don't see Bob Light. I just see Dan McLaren. We got Jeffrey Kemper that's crashed, but where in the world is Bob Light? nothing from iRacing says anything. Well, this is interesting. I don't know where Bob Light went. Kemper has moved it to the pits. We'll check it out and see if Light comes back in. Here's a look at what happened to Kemper. Out of turn 10, just like when we were with Terry Lannis, and a good impact as well. Bob Light's dropped to 4. Oh my goodness, Bob Light has had an internet issue. You've got to be kidding me. So Dan McLaren is pretty much in the catbird seat here. As he has a 50-second advantage. That's a bigger lead than what Max Verstappen had over Colin Johnson. Hopefully Bob can get back on track and regain some sort of positions. But I believe Bob would still have the championship won. His worst finishes on the year so far are 12th and 9th. Just had a change for second. Colin Johnston loses a spot to Zach Chapman. And losing a spot could be big for Colin Johnston because he wants a second place finish because he could win this championship. He's 76 points behind Bob Light coming in today. So the worst that Bob would finish right now is the 12th spot. Chapman starts to pull away. Gap is about a second with 10 to go. Here's the full field rundown. Dan McLaren, your race leader. Zach Chapman second. Colin Johnston third. Andrew Smith fourth. Peter Thompson fifth. Brandon Ishkanian sixth. Jeremy Tate seventh. Preston Cranmer eighth. Jacob Butcher ninth. Louis Meglin rounds out your top 10. Terry Lannis 11th. Bob Light 12th. Jeff Kemper 13th. 3 drivers out of the race. Mark Gilbert, Tim Chapman, and Isaac Salas. And Bob Light has brought the 77 back out on the racetrack. So his fight in 12th is not over yet. Now, he could drop this race if he wanted to. If he finishes in the top 10, the points would still stand. And the race he had in the 10th place run. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I've been looking at the wrong thing. Yes. I apologize. Worst finishes for Bob this season are a 12th and a 9th. So if he finishes at least 9th, points would count. But he is a lap behind Jake Butcher. So see what he can do. He's not in any traffic right now, so it could work out for him. But if he can get a lap on and close in on Jacob Butcher and take it away, that would be huge. He's got to be 3 seconds faster each lap. So he would. But at this rate, it would be a 27-second gain, which obviously would not be enough. He'd be a minute short. But for Dan McLaren, it could be looking good for him to take his first win in the Xfinity Cup of the season and his first win in the trail, which would put him in the trail playoffs. So just had Andrew Smith set his best lap of the day, 1:23.38. That time by though, 1:23.95. Last time though was his best lap of the day, 1:23.38. So we've got 4 drivers now in the 123 range. McLaren, or I should say 5. Got a race developing for 7th. Preston Kramer closing in on Jeremy Tate. Kramer was a second better than Tate last lap. Remember, they're teammates, so I wouldn't be surprised if Tate let Kramer go. Kramer's closing in. Let's compare the sectors here amongst the last couple of laps, if we can. At first sector, though, Tate was better by a bunch, by a 10. Second sector, Tate lets Kramer go. Last 5 laps, though, there you see. I'm sorry, wrong thing. There you see in the last 5 laps, compare Kramer to Tate. The difference he has made up. So that gap continues to increase, but McLaren is about 6.5 laps away from victory. 2 seconds so far tonight in the 350 and big block race at Knoxville, and he will definitely take this a 3-podium night. Could have had the possibility to have a triple crown, would have joined Isaac Salas for it. Another battle developing for 4th. Andrew Smith against Peter Thompson. 0.7 of a second to gap. Let's compare those last few laps. Thompson, the faster car. Remember, he's had a couple of incidents tonight. Update on Bob Light. He's 35 seconds behind Terry Landis, so not looking good at the moment. Five to go this time by for Dan McLaren. Just an update, Louis Megland has crashed. He is down in the 10th position. Won last week on fuel mileage at Charlotte. Let's show you what happened. Ooh, he hit the curb and lost it in Moss Corner. Ooh, and he collected another driver behind him too. think could that have been Thompson possibly? Let's get another angle potentially. So it may actually have been Andrew Smith. Just wheel hopped. And that was Andrew Smith. Thompson just missed the scene. So 5 cars on the lead lap. McLaren, Chapman, Johnston, Smith, and Thompson. Biggest mover of the race, back to Brandon Ishkanian, up 9 spots. That's Colin Johnson up 8, then Peter Thompson. Up 6 is Jeremy Tate, and then up 3 is Zach Chapman. We have some races developing. Let's go back to second. Johnston wants the 2 spot from Zach Chapman, which could be a big championship situation. Johnston wants it badly. Let's compare the time delta between the two if we have it. That's from 3rd to 4th. We want 4th to 3rd. See how much it's closed down now. 3 to go. This is the race everyone is watching closely. Also have Smith and Thompson for 4th. Thompson peaks underneath. Back to second. As Smith starts to open up a gap. After Peter Thompson went up track, Johnson goes on the attack. Ooh, that's a risky spot to do it. Tries to go around the outside in Moss Corner. Johnson goes off track. And same with Zach Chapman. Chapman went off track too. Here comes Andrew Smith. Does he get into Zach Chapman? No, he makes his move underneath. Probably the most dramatic moment that we've had in this race. And Andrew Smith moves to second. So a 2-for-1 discount for the 79, and it could be a Canadian 1-2 finish. And so trouble strikes again at the Moss Corner. But Colin Johnson, though, not out of it yet. He really needs 3rd spot if he wants a better chance at it. No damage I see. The ride, the number 13, Zach Chapman's got, don't think any damage on either. Andrew Smith, though, has a bunch. Issues that he's going to really have will come on the straightaways. And Chapman, I think, just went off again. Nope, he got loose. And that was before the Moss Corner as Chapman sends it in. Louis Meglin off the track once again. Chapman is off, Johnston takes 3rd. But then Johnson goes wide in 5B. As it's a drag race down the Andretti straight. So Chapman hangs on to that podium position. Now, something to keep in mind, too. Every instant point docks you a point. Bob Light has 0 instant points, so he could get a 5 bonus points despite finishing in 12th, which would help him out. Cullen Johnson only has 2. White flag is out. This time by for Dan McLaren. He's coming off turn 11 already. So McLaren has nearly lapped the entire field in this one, which is just mind-boggling. But everyone's watching this race for third. Cullen Johnson really needs the points, and Zach Chapman is holding him up. Andrew Smith pulling away with a 3-second advantage. And McLaren could approach them by the time they come to the checkered flag. Again, these two have not taken the white flag just yet. Smith tries to force Chapman off the track. Chapman just barely rolls in the curb. And both of them just about go wide. Now this is big for Johnson. He could use the draft of Chapman as an advantage. This could get big here, entering 8, 9, and 10. Good corner from Zach Chapman. Coming through turn number 10, Chapman's got the edge. They take the white flag this time by. Off turn number 10, a whooping from Dan McLaren. He takes advantage of a mishap from Bob Light. McLaren wins his first asphalt race of the season in the Xfinity Trail as he takes Canadian Tire. Now we get to the final lap here as Andrew Smith locks up. Everyone watches the race for third. Bottom step on the podium is on the line. These will be the final drivers, I believe, that will take the checkered flag, and they will be. Unless you count the 85 of Jacob Butcher, who wants to play a factor. He should really just let these two race it out for third. And oh my, Johnston sends it in. He gets it to Chapman. They roll through the grass. Can Johnston save it? No. Pancakes the concrete. And that puts Johnson back into 4th and may have likely just cost himself the championship. Cullen got aggressive with it. He thought it was his time to bite, but he's got a lot of bite on his bark. Andrew Smith will make his way through turns 8, 9, and 10. Actually, he just took the checker to finish second. Here comes Zach Chapman through turn 10 as he finishes in third. He was just being patient at the end. Here comes Cullen Johnson 4th, and now we'll just have to wait for points. Smith and Chapman have to take an additional lap because I don't think the race is officially final yet. So top 3 pose for a photo on the track. Well, they will be. And should get standings updated in just a bit, but from if it stands, Bob Light should have the championship won. We'll wait for scoring to make it official. Do we have results yet? I don't know if we do. There they are, they've popped up. McLaren the winner by 80 seconds on Andrew Smith, Zach Chapman, and Cullen Johnson. A lap down were Peter Thompson, Preston Kramer, Brandon Ishkanian, Jeremy Tate, and Jacob Butcher. 2 laps down, Terry Landis, Louis Meglin, and Bob Light. Jeff Kemper, Mark Gilbert, Isaac Salas, Tim Chapman do not finish this race. Folks, it is official. Bob Light is your champion this season in the Xfinity Cup. Actually, hold the thought. That was after 12 races. My mistake. Don't count that yet. We're just waiting still. Can also bring the top 3 in while we're at it. McLaren gets the chance to do some donuts. Not updated the scoring yet. And while we wait, we'll talk with your top 3. Begin with Zach Chapman. Zach, that was a great race between you and Cullen at the end. Cullen was trying to get those points to see if he could pull off the championship. We don't know it yet, but what we do know is you've got a 3rd place finish, sir.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I had to, crew chief basically told me I had 5 laps of fuel left when I had 6.5 laps to go. So that's why, Andrew and them, I had to try to save gas. So I was staying in 4th gear most of the time, just trying to save gas and only really downshifting, when Cullen could accelerate and try to get me. So I was just trying to back up the corners Monaco style and, just hold it.
Yeah. How much fun did you have in this race tonight? I know Canadian Tire obviously is challenging.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I tell you though, 30 laps, no cautions on these road courses. I'll tell you what, I'm sweating. That's definitely gives you a workout in these things. They're not built to drive around this track.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on this run?
Shout out to Andrew Smith we were racing a little bit. Him and I think we're battling for 3rd fastest if we would have had fresh cars. Got to give it another shout out. Sucks. I think Bob Light lost connection. He's always the class of the field when you come to a road course. That guy knows how to get around. All my teammates at Gambler, my wife for letting me do this all the time, and last but not least, Marty, you do an awesome job, and it was an honor to share the booth with you tonight.
Appreciate the time, man. As always, great job.
Thanks, Marty.
All right, that's Zach Chapman, our 3rd place finisher, and shout out to him for being my booth partner throughout the night tonight. Let's take a look and see if Xfinity is updated. Do we have anything? We don't have anything just yet. Unless Roger says something to me, we will hold on there. But we believe it is Bob Light that'll take it. 2nd place finisher, Andrew Smith tonight. Andrew, you took a big advantage of Zach and Cullen despite a beat-up front end. Did you expect those other 2 drivers behind you to fight back on you?
Yeah. Those guys are all good drivers. I was noticing on my relative, I was catching them. I thought it was fresher tires because I pitted a couple of laps after them. But then I saw that they were battling, and my mind went, oh, okay, this is going to be interesting now. And then sure enough, going into Moss Corner, they bumped, I guess, and then I scooted underneath, and the rest is history. And then I heard that they were trying to save some fuel too, so that obviously helped. But it was a good race.
Did you have a good time with this race tonight, though?
Oh yeah, any time that you can come to your home track and finish 1-2 with your good buddy, that's a good night.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
C2C for the league, you guys for the broadcast, Perfect Endeavor Expressions, Venom Racing, Spartan Racing, Weldstar, just good racing, and yeah, many a fun night at this track. So I've had many a midnight walks around here for various races.
Absolutely. All right, man, we'll let you go. Congratulations, great run.
Thank you, sir. Cheers.
Absolutely, you as well. What Andrew was referring to as well, a 1-2 finish for Venom Racing, a 1-2 finish by Canadians as a whole as well. So that was pretty cool to see. Extreme E-Speed TV Victory Lane, your winner tonight is Dan McLaren. Dan, I mean, I know it's unfortunate with what happened to Bob, but you had to take advantage of it, and what a butt whooping.
Exactly. Like it's like you said, you got to take it how you can get it. But yeah, very unfortunate what happened to Bob. I mean, he's the hardest guy to beat on the road course, man. Like he's so talented and fast. So I did my best to try and keep up with him as much as I could, but then lagged out and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, 2 podiums and a win. You nearly got the Triple Crown tonight, man. I know you'll take it on a Thursday night like this.
Oh, absolutely, man. This is like almost as good as, winning a championship to me. I don't know, but I've never had 3 podiums in any of this, so this is big. Great way to end the year and hopefully carry the momentum into the next season.
Absolutely, man. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
All the guys at Venom, WeldStar Custom Fabrications, VMR Wraps, Coast to Coast Racing League, and your amazing talents doing the broadcast, brother.
Appreciate the time, man. Congratulations. Great job all night tonight.
Thanks, man. Much appreciated. Need a cold beer now.
Yes, I don't blame you. Need one too with how hot it is in my room. It's been a hot day in Western New York, but McLaren takes the win. Let's see here. We do have, it is official as well. We do have our champion for the Xfinity Cup side for the 2023 spring season. Bob Light gets it done. I'm going to try and bring Bob Light here into the room. See if he's available to talk. Bob, it's Marty. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Marty, how you doing?
Doing good. Well, you are the spring champion for the Xfinity Series in 2023. Congratulations on that. I know you wanted the win, but I got to ask, what in the world happened to your internet?
Yeah, I appreciate it, Marty. Yeah, it wasn't my internet. Actually, my box just shut down. I don't know if it overheated or what happened, but just shut down on me.
Well, it has been a hot time in the Northeast, so I don't know if that's what happened on your end as well. So, but a fast car tonight. The only lap, actually one of 2 laps, I should say, in the 122 range. Just how much practice did you put into this one?
Oh, I probably practiced a couple hours this week. I've got so many laps around this track from all the other road racing I do. So I know the track like the back of my hand. So just a couple hours.
Absolutely. Well, week 13 is next week. Are you going to be taking part in the asphalt stuff?
I'm sure going to try. Hopefully my box will cooperate so I can do that.
Absolutely. Well, a great run for you tonight, man. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Yeah, thanks. First and foremost, Epsilon Sprint Wraps and all my teammates there. But a great bunch of guys. We have a ball. Slide Job Racing Network, RSN Trackside, Maconi Setup Shop, and of course the Coast to Coast League, and you guys for doing the broadcast. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. We appreciate it, man. Congratulations. Another title for you in 2023.
Thank you, Marty.
Bob Light, the Xfinity champion in the 2023 spring, and continues to lead the points on the Xfinity Trail side. So now we move things along to week number 13. And here is how everything looks. Monday, I should say it all begins Sunday with GT3 and Cars Tour at Tsukuba and Legacy Phoenix for the asphalt side of things. Monday night, our high limit at Lernerville, and then we got the asphalt at Thompson for modified racing. Tuesday begins the dirt part of the Triple Crown, midgets and Pro Late models, and we have asphalt trucks at Michigan. Wednesday night, 305 410s, a street stock enduro for the dirt side. Asphalt side at 8 o'clock is Xfinity at Charlotte. We end things off right on Thursday night. We've got small blocks and big blocks to be determined. And then the Cup Series at Daytona to determine our Triple Crown winners. Looking forward to it. Thanks for joining us on tonight on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. On behalf of everyone with the Coast to Coast Racing League, all the drivers and sponsors, Roger Craig, Preston Kramer, the fine admins that control this. On behalf of Zach Chapman, Marty Sakala, sign off the broadcast tonight. Your winners, Kurt Schatzer, Isaac Salas, and Dan McLaren. Your champions, the small and the big block, Joseph Grandy and in the Xfinity Series, Bob Light. So long, everyone.